Hi everybody, welcome back. Episode number 39 of this mind-boggling deep dive into ADHD people's brains, because the problem of suggesting that we will do things in the 2 weeks between recording sessions and sort out what we're going to buy and the gold and all the rest of it immediately went out of everybody's brains, and none of it has been done. There was a vague discussion before we started recording about some of the stuff that this lot might buy with their money, but hey, that's not happened. That's just not happened. What has happened is that this group of reprobates that I deal with on a bi-weekly basis continued to become plagued. The non-binary entity of disease and pestilence sat drinking hot toddies just at in the screen there to make sure that they can talk for the rest of this evening. Has managed to continue the process of people getting plagued. Thankfully, not the bad plague, but it is a continual yearly problem, I believe, of getting chest infections and various other bits and pieces that come up every single time.
Because I share a house with a walking petri dish of a child.
But plague aside, they not only themselves but also JJ, our other resident individual, have managed to pass a rather important course. Well done, guys. I believe it's the Freck course. If you want to sort of describe the stuff that you have been doing, I don't know. Is that something you want to let everyone know about? All 90 of our subscribers, or whatever it is.
Can do. Functionally speaking, Freck is first responders emergency care. The 3 indicates that it is a level 3. There are more levels above it. There are lower levels below it.
3 is the number, and the number should be 3.
Yep. Don't count to 4, for that is too much. 5 is well out.
And 2 is not enough.
Functionally speaking, level 2 is like your community first aider, community first responder. Level 4 is where you start being able to assist the ambulance service directly. 5 is where you are a professional adult.
Which none of us applied.
For myself, it's as much part of my personal continuous development and, paying back to society, and also making sure people I know don't keel over and die in inconvenient and remote locations.
I mean, it's a reasonable objective.
Is it the keeling over that's inconvenient, or is it just the location itself?
Yes.
Fair.
Yeah, but well done, both of you. I know it's been 2 weekends of fairly intensive work and tests and various other assessments that you've had to do. And I believe that the course was not a 100% pass rate, so it's not one of those things that you also walk into. I don't know if that's the case, if people...
I think everybody had passed by the end.
Right.
It was possible to do some resits the following day, and some tests were repeated over the weekends. So whilst you could fail, it would probably take a sincere effort, because you're testing book knowledge and physical response as much as anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And part of any kind of course like this is, as much as they can teach you things, there is a certain amount of you now have to go out and do it.
Yeah.
Well, I suspect, although we ended up paired up for the scenario assessment where you go out to a patient, I suspect the fact that their particular combination of conditions and life-threatening problems was something both of us had experience of. So JJ got one of them and I got the other, and it was all fine.
Yeah.
That was lucky depending on how you look at it, I guess, because out of all the material they could have picked, it was my end was something I'd got experience of, and his was something he'd got. But yeah, it was a good course. It was interesting. I've done first aid before, which is all about treat what's in front of you. This starts to get you to think about what might be causing the thing, and therefore what else might be going on or going wrong, and allows you to be a little bit more proactive about it.
But again, congratulations to both of you. I'm in an odd position here where I will congratulate you on achieving the thing and hope you never ever have to use it. So
I was watching the stationary traffic on my way home from the school run today and making sure that the motorcyclist did in fact get up, put his helmet back on and walk away, so I didn't have to pull the car over and leave the child in the car to go and assist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So much as we joked off stream, there's no requirement for us to do any form of help because there's no professional qualification with it. Now that when you have the skills and someone is in need, there becomes that a social obligation.
Yeah.
Who'd be socially responsible these days?
Well, we do our best to limit how socially responsible we are right at this moment in time, and go into a little bit of a game. As I moderately and mildly joked, while this lot had the opportunity to potentially buy some items in the break, they did not and didn't get around to it, which is fine because actually, to be honest with you, we've had a look at some of the stuff that they could potentially afford with the money they've got left, and while a couple of healing potions might be nice, a couple of healing potions cannot really be afforded at this point in time.
We are skint.
Not skint. I mean, 40 gold is not skint, and you could buy some healing potions. It's just not really many, and there's not a lot of impact with the cheap ones. So unfortunately, the decision has been to return. Now, the one thing I forgot to ask you before we started was, do you want to return to where you were, or do you have a specific objective in mind that you want to have your tokens moved to before we potentially get into this?
Well, just to recap for those who have been asleep since last week, of our viewers, recently Moz did get his halberd upgraded further, so now we have additional damage against ghosts and ghoulies, well, specifically ghosts.
Oh yeah.
So we do have an option there, but we also know that particular ghosty is, or rather the librarian scribey woman, is probably restricted to their little hole. We can possibly come back and deal with her another time. Just to take one of those options maybe off the menu. The more pressing issue might be the big temple under the small temple.
Do you have a feeling that at some point in the not too distant future, I'm just on the edge of figuring out how to deal a bit better with ghosts, so I'm tempted to leave the arsey one who wants to kill us until that bit has clicked properly into place in my brain?
Yep. Sounds like a plan.
Foreshadowing, everyone. Foreshadowing. So, it sounds like we're leaning towards you either want to be at the temple, which is actually quite close to the ghost, to be fair, or back where you were and you can make your minds up where you were. So which would you prefer?
Tempted to try and finish off what we were doing before because of some doors we didn't go into.
There was quite a lot around here that you haven't been into, so yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many ghouls you've been into.
Now.
The love for
substantial.
The number of times, because you guys have been fighting ghouls, I've had to come up with ghoul-based puns for the names of the episodes. I would very much appreciate not having to make up more ghoul-based puns, because there's been...
So we're going to deal with ghouls.
There's been a few. There have been a few. And the last few ones have at least been vaguely easy to handle because you've been in town and therefore I can just do other things. So, shall we put on a little bit of music? And shall we then have a little bit of a thought about where you guys might be headed? And what you might want to do, and we can move everybody over to the correct screen. There we go. So yes, we are back in the library level of the Abomination Vaults, with you guys effectively gathered around the ghouls that you have recently been dealing with. I'm just going to slowly but surely remove those from the screen so you guys don't have to see them. I mean, to be fair, probably a lot of these bodies after a night's rest aren't here anymore, and you can hazard a guess as to where they now are. There we go. We can do that and just have you guys on the screen now, nice and neat and tidy.
So, I'll pull over this end. So that's the eastern end of the cross corridor for those on audio only. And then up the western side, we've got a couple more doors that we don't know where they go. Have we searched this for secret doors yet? Are we confident we know where all the doors are?
So in terms of the main corridor that you're in, I will very quickly just do a couple of rolls so that, based on where you're currently standing, you'll have a rough idea. Let's have a look. Good numbers there. Having a relatively brief look around this chamber, none of you, certainly in terms of the corridor, see anything that would be a problem. You have not ventured into the lightning room in order to verify that location, though, so you would actively have to go down there and have a look.
We managed to recover the corpse that's in there, or is that just...
No, that's merely just lying on the floor. It doesn't, however, seem to be getting healed.
Okay, so there is a dead point at which that energy field doesn't help.
It tends to stop working the second you're focused on it, if that makes sorry, not focused on it. The second you have no necromantic energies left in you, it doesn't seem to be able to do anything about it.
Storing, not resurrecting. Got it. Still don't want to go in there.
Reckon we start picking off these doors nice and quiet.
Yep.
And ideally on the quiet, considering how many tripped out last time we opened one.
So yeah, you do have a couple at the end here. There are also a number in the actual corridor itself that you have bypassed, so you know that there are a couple up to the north. There's a follow-on corridor to the north as well as a door to the south of you and the large room down at the bottom, which you did see a door opposite. So straight through there is a door.
So am I thinking of doing this eastern end first? Is that gives us a place to run back to, potentially some doors to shut, or at least a corridor to use as a choke point?
Yeah, that's probably just going to be rooms rather than branching off anywhere else. So if we do that eastern spur and then start on the southmost door before we on this main corridor before the lightning field, so the one that I'm currently next to, and then work our way north.
That's good. I'm into that.
Okay. So yes, you did check out the firefighting supplies. You have done that room, and I believe you might have done the room at the end, but I can't remember.
I don't think we have.
So the one,
No, Ghoul's first out of it.
Yeah, the one directly at the end of that corridor. So the effectively the eastern door was where the other two ghouls came out of. The southern door you don't know anything about.
There's a reasonable chance there's nothing left in this room, because it should have come out to help mates. You gonna open it up, Neffy?
I'm gonna listen first.
It's a reasonable option. You do not hear anything on the other side of the door.
Spirit sense Stealth effect thing, anything in 30 feet?
You do not detect anything within 30 foot that would spark off a spiritual nature check.
And magicy whack. I can't say it.
Magically do hickey
Yeah, there
stuff.
you go. You knew where I was going with this.
I mean, no, but
You know me way too well.
yeah, you do detect magic within 30 foot of you. However, I don't know. Do you get direction at this point? I don't think you do get direction yet, do you?
I don't think I do at this level, no.
No, but you are casting it effectively. No, you're not even casting it at 3rd level. Yeah, all you know is that there is magic within 30 foot.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine I would have done my normal thing. I cast a spell before I walk down the corridor, so as I get closer.
Okay.
That's not Moz's shiny new kit, is it?
No, because you can eliminate that, thankfully. You, knowing that it is already magical, you are able to ignore the item. Okay, if we suggest that you do the magical hokey cokey, which we've talked about several times, you know, putting 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and seeing whether or not you get a tingle or not, you are aware that from roughly where you are now, it will be somewhere southwest of you, within 30 foot. So fundamentally somewhere this way, because there's not really anywhere else within 30 foot that would work.
Okay. Shall I open the eastern door and then do the south one?
Yeah,
no one said no, so Neffy just opens it.
Yep. Give it.
You open up the eastern one, and with no real sort of over the top description of this, it kind of goes in 5 foot, and immediately becomes a wall, and it turns back on itself, and it becomes a 20 foot by 10 foot chamber. 3 plain beds have been awkwardly stacked against the west wall of this room, leaving room for a single low table heaped with foul-smelling chunks of flesh and bone. It would appear that this was some sort of dining room.
There was gentle retching from the far end. If that's her, as Invo runs back out.
I'm going to close that door. Smells.
Really did.
Door? Unless anyone wants to actually go in and search the room.
Let's take a quick look in, because it'll only go horribly wrong if we don't.
Yeah,
I imagine Neffy's going in like this.
I left.
Yeah. You have a look. There's no creatures in there. There's nothing else in there. However, yeah, there's a table covered in gore and bone and flesh and lovely stuff like that.
Next door, then, Neffy.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a poke.
Ah!
Okay.
Close the door! Close the door!
You're not closing the door. You know the rules.
We never said there were rules.
There are rules. There are rules.
Can't close the door. We're not going in.
Okay, I'll give you the nice description if you want first.
Okay.
Yeah, the nice description. While this room might have once served as a writing studio, today its condition has been all but obliterated by dozens of tiny swatches of skinned flesh marked with tattoos. Judging by the workplace on the table in the middle of the room, these tattoos have been placed post-mortem, with a swathe of pale skin stretched over the desk supporting a half-captured image of a sinister woman. Sat at the work desk is a interesting gentleman, to say the least. There he is. You might need to stretch out the image because he's doing a little bit of an odd one, but one ghoulish individual is leant over the desk, muttering to himself. Generally, slowly but surely, working a tattoo into the skin canvas that he's given himself. He seems to be sort of talking under his breath in the moments that you open the door about all the ruckus and noise outside. How dare they make such noise while I'm working? And then he looks up.
Well, they won't be making it any more school.
We're going to roll initiative. Because this guy is not impressed with you being here. And I'm pressing the wrong key, that's why that's not working. There we go, let's put you all in there. So yes, I'd like initiative, please, as this creature begins to rise from its desk.
Is anyone scouting?
Scatty.
Yes, you do have your normal scouts. Oh wow, okay. Really? Okay.
Please, really, really slow.
It was either really good or really bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down the line. Inva. You are muted.
That's because nobody needed to hear me coughing.
That's right.
Natural 20 plus 5 plus 1 for scouting for 26.
26. Okay, Moz.
I got 28.
28.
Oh, no, to lie. 19 and 9 plus 2, so I can't do maths. 28. 30.
30.
You want me to magic your weapon? I'm going to have to go first.
Well, Phelan.
I've got a fairly average roll, so 23.
23. Okay, and Neffy?
21.
21. 21? Okay.
Why are you shocked?
I'm used to you being a lot quicker than that. In either case, it's going to be my creature first.
Oh, goody.
Oh, goody. He raises from the table, sort of lifts himself up, leaving his work behind. How dare you! How dare you waste my time! I tell you one thing for certain. The insults I will tattoo into your skin when I am done with you. He wastes an action doing that. He will then take a step and he's going to claw at
Oh, goody.
Neffy. So, natural 20.
Oh, dear. Let me pull out my backup character.
Yeah, okay. So that's going to be a critical hit. So we'll double all of this once we're done with it. 8 on the dice plus 7, giving him 15, doubled 30. 30 points of damage. That is, however, all 3 of his actions. So, why are we doing that? There we go, it's Mars's turn. Now we've got it working.
Mars will say, excuse me, and take the full move to block the door-ish. And we'll stab him in the face as his second move. As his second shot. That's as I have to do. There we go. So 15 on the dice. Which is 15 plus 12 makes 27.
That is going to hit.
Ooh. Good hit on that one. So keep that dice there for now. It's a D10, not a D8. A D10 plus. That's an 8 plus strength, so 4 makes 12.
12 points of damage. Okay, that's a pretty good start. He is still up. I mean, probably expected.
That's fair. But for my second trick, I'm gonna attack him with a brutish shove.
Now, while you do the British shove and everything else like that, I am, however, going to step in because I did forget one thing. Neffy, can you make a fortitude saving throw, please?
I mean, I'm going to answer that probably not.
Come on, passing could be the difficult thing.
22.
You are just fine. Can we do that British shove then?
Yes! So, on the dice we have... Ooh, that's not so good. That's an 8 plus 7. So that's 15.
No, that's not going to work, I'm afraid. That's your 3 actions. It is Itha's turn. You are muted again.
Thank you. If I drop a 3-action healing spell there,
yes,
is that going to get the Grinchy over there?
Would, yes.
Awesome. So I will do 2nd level 3 actions healing spell, which will do 2d8 of healing to Neffy, and I believe 2d8. But he gets... What does he get? Basic fortitude save.
He does, yes. So, basic fortitude save. This is basic fortitude. Yes.
Neffy can have 10 points back.
So he got 20 on his fortitude save, which I believe is a pass.
Spell DC of 18. Yes.
So
And that's it. That's me done.
Okay. If it's a basic, I take half. So
You do. You can have 5 points of damage.
I'll take 5 points of damage. Okay.
Neffy, just to get out of the way.
Phelan, it's your turn.
Okay. Can't do an awful lot from here. So let's have 2, 3, 4. A bit of a wander to here.
Yep.
And neatly just bonk this dude on the head with a produce flame bolt.
Okie dokie.
That's a reasonable amount to hit. Being a 22.
22 is exactly what you needed.
Excellent.
The line of sight just allowing you to avoid cover ever so slightly, so yeah.
For 9 points of fire damage.
9 points of fire damage. Okay, slowly but surely taking little bits of pieces out of this guy, but he is still looking fairly feisty. Neffy, it is your turn.
I am gonna move. I'm actually skirting around the room, but otherwise I wouldn't be able to. There you go. Is it gonna hit me?
Nope. Nope, there is no reaction as you run past.
Okay, good to know. I'm now gonna try and shoot him. Oh, nat 20! I can get my eye back! Remind me, do I get the precision or something?
You will not get your sneak attack on this, no.
No, I thought I got a precision thing if I crit. Or is that something else?
No, so that's with your rapier that you get the deadly.
Oh, of course it is, yes.
All this will be is d6 doubled.
That was it. Yeah, I got my stats all confused. That is 10? Yeah, I don't think I add anything, do I?
No.
No, so 10, yeah.
Okie dokie. So a bolt comes in, catches him in the shoulder. Rather painfully looking, but again, he just sort of turns and stares at you.
I reload as my final action.
So he will then stare over at Nephi, and begins under his sort of, as a low voice, as a low grumble, starts singing a limerick, which is just full of blasphemous terms and things like that, and just sort of starts talking about the odes that he will carve into your skin. He seethes with anger as he jumps across the room.
Oh no.
He is going to use an ability called Swift Leap, which allows him to jump half of his movement speed without triggering reactions. And then as a final action for this turn, because again he used an action to swear at you, he's going to try and bite you. That's the cop dice. There's a 15 on the dice with a plus 15 for a 30. Plus 15. So...
It works. I mean, that would critically hit me, so...
Does it? So it does, yeah. So it does.
Oh dear.
Okay, so we're going to go with... That's going to do... Okay, it's not minimum, but it's close to minimum on the dice. 20 points of damage in total.
I'm down. Okay.
You are down.
Good.
And dying 2 because you were critically hit to take you to dying rather than
Yay.
just hit. So Nephi is leapt upon by this thing and it just starts biting chunks out. I might make you do fortitude saves later just to see if you get ghoul fever, but it will depend on if this lot can keep you alive.
Okay.
That is all of its actions. Moz.
I do not particularly like it chewing on my friend. And from all the way over this end of the table, I will stab it in the face. Or very close to it.
Mm-hmm. The advantage of reach.
Yep. Can't do much else right now. So there's basically he's going to pull the spear back, pull the halberd back on high, and basically just jab down across the full length of this 5 foot table. I'm not going to hero point that one. Because that was a 3, and I do not feel confident that was going to do enough of anything. And that's a 2, and it does even less of a thing.
Oh. So second action.
Second action, I am going to take a broad swing across with the halberd, having tried thrusting with it. It's not working. I'm going full baseball bat.
Are you going to use your exacting
this long
strike
stick
at this point?
I am, yes. I was contemplating a brutal shove again, but right now, no. I'm going to go in with, as you said, the exacting strike. Hopefully pick up no further map. Because that's an 8 plus 7, which we know is not enough.
No.
Go back to the first fading dice. Good God. Moz, can you hit some? That's a 7 as well. Moz is not having a good day.
Oh dear. It's a lot of swinging and a lot of missing.
It is.
A lot of swinging and a lot of missing.
Next battle up.
Inva.
So, moved there. Stabilise on Nephi as a cantrip.
Okay, stabilise. So you are no longer dying.
We're just unconscious and on 0 hit points.
Yes.
2 actions.
Yeah.
Now I think I do have Calm as a single action spell. I do. And he's pissed me off. Oh, it's touch range to do it as a single action. That's
Yes.
not on that. No way we're getting in touch range of that thing. Fuck no.
Wise.
I'm gonna cast shield.
Okay. Yep, that seems
he's-
reasonable.
Yell to Phelan, not the Badger. Phelan, or at least Satan, who's right next to me. That Nephi is down.
Are you going to tell me you've stabilised?
Oh yeah, I might as well point that out. You probably.
I probably saw you go stabilised. So I know what that is like.
Yeah.
Wafting hands and pointing in a general direction. Phelan, it is
and
your
verbals
turn.
along the lines of, "Just stop dying, my friend." Responsibility. And don't know.
Right. Okay. I don't have line of sight on jobbing at jobs from here.
No.
So I'm going to step into the room, take somewhat of a risk, and I am going to introduce him to a big ball of fire under his ass.
Goodness
And
gracious.
and cast Flaming Sphere.
Oh! Oh!
Please keep control of it.
Bye.
Keep control of it.
Oh dear.
Hashtag concern.
Okay, for the purposes
So
of
but it's basic reflex save, please.
Yeah. What I will do, if I just shove that into the chat, let me just... Yeah, basic reflex save, okay. Reflex. One thing that ghouls have some of is reflex. But when I roll a 6, and I therefore only get 18, I don't know how good that's... No, your spell DC is 19, so that will be a fail.
Okay. So it can have 6 fire damage for now,
six for now.
and that's just gonna sit there, and I can chase him around the room with it.
Yes, you can.
Cue the
Okay.
Benny Hill music.
Yeah. So
Alexa, play Yakety Sax.
it would be Neffy's turn right now. The one thing I forgot to do is actually move you in the initiative order, because when you went down, you should have gone to just before the guy. But in either case, you are not bleeding, you are not dying. Therefore, we can just skip your turn, really. You know, you got any sewing that you were doing on your kit for this weekend? You've got the chance now. LARP kits before anybody says anything. It is then the creature's turn. It is once again going to use its jumping ability to jump up towards you without initiating an attack of opportunity, and then it's going to try and bite Moz.
Logical, if not sensible.
Natural 20.
That's going to sting in the morning.
Ow. Okay. 12, 24 points of damage.
Oof.
Then
Doesn't
can you
tell me how-
make 2 fortitude saves, please? Let's go with Ghoul Fever first. The one that matters slightly less, because you can Medicaid your way out of this one.
So my fortitude is a +9, which is helpful because I rolled an 18. So that's 9, 18, 27.
Okay, you do not get Ghoul Fever. Now the really important one. Paralysis.
Which with another +9 and a base roll of 17 means I've got 26.
You are fine then. At which point, he's going to try and hit you with his claw, because he's no longer ranting at you, he's just going to attack. A 12 on the dice with a +10 is a 22.
Just gets me.
Yeah. In fact, it's a +11 because it's a claw. And you're going to take another 12 points of damage.
Good God, that's me down to a quarter.
That is, however, all of his actions. It is now your turn.
Well, I do believe I need to stab him in the face.
You
At
do.
least once for
Over the
pride
internet.
purposes. Over the internet. That's a 17 plus 12 for 29.
That is going to hit.
Oh, goody.
Not a crit, but that is a hit.
Come on. There we go. That's a 4 and a 4 for 8.
8 points of damage. Okay, it's another chip out of him.
And having successfully managed to find some meaty connection with the halberd, he's going to bring it around and just go figure 8 and just go for an exacting pair of strikes. That's a 17 plus 7 for 24.
That is going to hit.
That's a 3 and a 4 for 7.
7 more points of damage. Again, it's another chunk out of this guy. He's starting to look a little injured. He's starting to look like bits of him are actively falling off.
And that's a 17 plus 7 for that 24 again.
But you don't get the plus 7. The exacting strike only comes into effect if you miss. So 17 plus
would be a pull up the right details. It's -10, so plus 2, so 19.
That is a miss, I'm afraid.
C'est la vie, said the old folks.
However, it is now Uber's turn.
I'm dropping another 3-action heal there because it might hurt him and it might help my friends.
Okie dokie. So it is a.
Because I'd quite like to maintain the meat shield that's currently between me and it.
Fortitude
How much?
save?
How much health am I taking?
That's what I'm trying to roll and throwing at my laptop instead. My DC is 18 now.
Yeah, I failed.
Cool. So 7 and 8 for 15 points on the dice. 15 healing to each of Neffy and Moz.
15 damage. That really hurts him. He shrieks with pain.
Oh.
That really took a big chunk out of him. Neffy, you wake up. You are wounded 1, so please just make sure that condition is on.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. That was 3 action heal to do that. It is Phelan's turn.
Sneeze on him.
Okay. I'm going to use 1 action to roll my ball.
You roll that ball.
I'm gonna roll that ball under the table.
Is that another reflex save? Is that how this works? I have to do
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming if the flaming sphere is under the table, there's enough burny going around it.
Yep. So in total, I'll get a 27. That is a success, but it is not a critical success. So you will deal half damage.
Okay, which is going to be 10 halved to 5.
And even with the half damage, the ball appears underneath his feet and he is roasted. There is a horrendous smell of burning flesh. But in either case, this guy finally, I say finally, it was a quick fight. It was only 3 rounds, but he did really hurt. He really, really hurt quite a few of you. So yeah, we'll switch the old battle music off.
Yeah, I shall dismiss my balls.
You dismiss your balls. Oh God.
I know a few people who'd like to know that trick.
Which probably better than wait for the NHS to do it.
That's the one.
Okay, we'll just distribute a little bit of the old experience points to everyone because we're getting real close.
Okay, and I think unless there's any immediate thing, I'm going to take 10 minutes to do some treat wounds on the Neffs to get that wounded condition off.
Yep.
And people can listen at doors, secure the area and stuff. And yeah, that's a number.
That's a number.
It's a number. It's going to be 21 for these. That's going to be my 2d8s.
Yeah, 2d8.
So that's a 3. So that's another 11 points for Neff, and that should clear the wounded condition.
It will indeed. It absolutely will. That's correct. Okay. I realise we're still in a combat. Let's empty the tracker. There we go. That's better. There we are. Right. Yep. So in this room, that you've sort of dealt with this creature, say quite quickly but quite painfully. dealt with this creature. You search his body and find nothing other than the sort of tattoo stuff that he had on the desk. He wasn't really carrying anything. However, after a little bit of time looking around the room, you do find another 2 bulk worth of books that might be of interest. These ones are about tattoo artistry and the history of making of tattoos, but they are still obviously quite interesting and potentially valuable tomes. So I have put those into your group box for you to distribute as needed into bags to make sure that you are being honest about where everything is. In addition,
I'll pop them into the Hag of Bolding.
In addition to that, there are 2 doors into this chamber. On sort of like where Moz is, I'm assuming you moved up there to sort of check the door and secure it and everything else. When you get there and have a kind of a look over it, the first thing is you do not hear anything on the other side of the door. But you do realise with a little quick check that the door is locked.
Rummage the corpse.
Unlock.
Rummage the corpse for a key.
There are no keys. He's not carrying anything.
I'm going to turn it upside down and shake him and see if anything else falls out.
No, there is nothing on that guy at all.
Time for lockpicking, Mosron style.
We'll let Neffy have a go. We'll let Neffy have a go before we use my size 12.
While you're doing that, I'm going to busy myself getting his tattoo needles and badly doing spectacles and moustaches on any faces on works he's got strung up around the room.
Yeah, that's fair enough. As you look at the work that he was working on, this sinister looking woman that's on there, there is a striking resemblance to the pictures you've seen of Belcora, which are then amusingly added glasses to and various
and moustaches and possibly speech bubbles.
Yeah.
Planning to heal Moz up any before we wander into potentially another fight?
Yeah, what do we want? Another 10-minute job or zap him?
We can take 10. Let's be honest. It's been a slow morning getting here. We've been nice and quiet getting down here. We can still take some time. I don't think we're past high tea or morning tea at this point in
No,
time.
you've literally come down here relatively early morning to immediately be jumped on by a mad tattoo artist.
Okay, that's 13 for Moz, 1-3.
I cannot keep casting magic like that.
Yeah.
Altogether too early in the morning to have cast that much of that magic.
Go on, Moz, add points. 13.
13, figures 1-3. Thank you.
Okay, Neffy,
Toy.
can you make a thievery
Yes.
check for me, please? You are fully aware of how successful you are being, so I do not feel that this needs to be secret.
Okay, 23.
Yeah, it's a relatively basic and cheap lock. It, however, is something that takes a bit of time. So while you have successfully started to unpick the lock, most locks tend to take more than one success. So I'd like you please to do it again.
That is 28.
Yeah, that last bit is just like, you took a bit of time to go in and then you went, nah, this is a shit lock. Click. That was easy. And yeah, that door is now unlocked and you are more than able to click it and open it should you wish.
Take your time getting
Not
the
opening
right,
another door.
everything in the right place, and then suddenly bang, you're in.
Dear.
At any point in time, I've had a dead like that.
I stand over here.
Good level of confidence. Mosrel opens the door, nice and gentle. Lickety. Oh, what do you know?
The desk in this office has been repurposed into a messy butcher's block. A shiny silver hatchet is wedged in the top of the desk. Bits of decaying pale flesh lie strewn about the room.
No, it's magical. Let me check.
Oh.
My axe.
Do you
I'll
go
get
in and check?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and have a look at that door.
Okay. So the first thing, looking at the door and having a listen, you do not hear anything on the other side of the door. Neffy, with the lovely hokey cokey method, you do work out that it is indeed the axe which is magical.
You can literally feel Invar on your shoulder as both conscience and character.
So this item, if I very quickly just do that, and I will roll to see if any of you guys can work out what it is. Okay. Noise of secret rolls, everyone. Yeah, no problems. You identify this as a +1 low-grade silver hatchet.
Can you
So-
explain what you mean by low grade?
Right, so the to be honest with you, it's not a rule I am totally at fate with, but fundamentally the grade of the item is how much what sort of quality it is fundamentally.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a bit of an odd one, which I don't fully understand myself, and so I'm very quickly just desperately trying to find the rules for right now. Materials, is it in here? Not so much. Yeah, it's. I'll come back to you on that one. I will do. Low-grade, here we go. Low-grade items can be used in the creation of magic items of up to 8th level. They can hold runes of up to 8th level. Standard items can be used to make magic items of up to 15th level and can hold runes of up to 15th level. High grade is the purest form of metal and doesn't have a limit. So fundamentally, the ruling is if you make a weapon out of a precious material, they can sometimes have caps on how much magic you can put into them. So you can't have a really cheap silver weapon that you can then also magic up to be one of the best weapons in the game. There's a limit on how much a thing can take. Obviously, a normal weapon, non-special precious metal, can just keep going. So it's the trade-off of whether or not you want the special material or not, because the special material will limit the magic that can go into it. So yeah, there you go.
Does my background give me any indication of what silver might be useful against?
A whole wedge of creatures, unfortunately. Not that you know, yes, werewolves, some demons or demonic type creatures can be caught out by it.
Are you thinking the livingly challenged varieties?
The livingly challenged varieties. So, are there any undead creatures in this game which are? Yes, I'm not sure about that one, I have to say.
Because if not, Inver's thought process is going to be okay. So we know there's a whole bunch of undead down here. If this isn't useful for them, or for, carving their flesh up in easier ways or whatever else, what the fuck is it doing here, and what else might we want?
Oh, we're using slightly
metagamey
brain processes there.
No,
but it's fine.
No, it's a logical thing for the character. If I know what I know,
Yeah.
and if it isn't any of those that it's good for, what is it good for, and why is it here?
Fair. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really something you can jump on, I guess.
Okay, well that's worrying.
Let me just see. So it's not immunity. You're thinking it's weakness, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I would have to dig up all of the stuff for that. I'm afraid it's not a.
That probably answers the question that it isn't. As far as Invar's aware, it's not particularly useful for the sorts of stuff we've been finding, and she's spent her life chasing. So, why is it here? And yeah, that's worrying. Did it get left here? Is it just pretty?
I'm gonna see if I can use this to do its weakness. See if that works. No, as far as you're aware, there are no creatures that would be not undead and weakness is silver. That's a new one on you. The bodies in the room by the bile, what you can see of them appear to be Morlock now that you get a bit closer to them. So, but yeah.
I will communicate my disquiet to the rest of the party.
Well, what else are they really going to be eating?
That makes a grim kind of sense.
You have a door to your south, sir.
We do indeed.
Since I'm here, I'll have a listen to it.
As does Phelan. Phelan and Moz both have doors to their south.
Yeah, which door are we going for first?
Oh, yeah.
Moz will just push open the door at this point, making the assumption that it's probably not that bad.
I mean, sure.
Old sure.
The heaps of slowly decaying bodies hung and stacked here reveal this former bedroom's current use as a meat locker.
Lovely.
Yep. As I said, not as bad as it could be. And he closes the door and makes a vague general gesture out of the room and leaves.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Phelan, your door, when you listen to it, you cannot hear anything. There is no particular noise from the end of it, but you do realise it's locked.
Okay, Neffs, do your thing.
Go on,
Do the
rolls. 2 rolls, please, and tell me each one.
Ooh, 15.
Okay, that didn't work that time.
Natural 20.
Okay. Natural 20 being critical does, however, abide some speed and levity in the process. So while you stuff it up at first and you kind of go, what? This is the same sort of what's going on? I can't. Oh, there you go. Fine.
I cover it up. I make it look like nothing bad happened whatsoever.
Indeed.
Nothing embarrassing.
And the door unlocks.
Okay, let's have a look-ski.
You open this to an exceptionally long, thin, empty corridor. It's around about 35 foot long and it ends in a interesting looking stone door.
I wonder if this loops round to the back of Lightning Room.
There's half a chance, yeah. Otherwise, it's going to have to get weird and hinky elsewhere. Want me to go first?
Yeah.
Secret doors on the way down.
No worries. And Moz will overtly start scouting down the corridor.
Okay.
Invar is going to sneak stealthily behind.
Neffy will also stay in the shadows.
That's fair.
And
Up
upon
the
finding
rear
the door.
and seek.
Okay.
How's this door feel?
Upon reaching the door, it feels like a relatively normal stone door, to be fair. Something you could open up towards you.
Now that we're all concertinaed nice and close together, Mosfron will just take half a step back, stand on Invar's toes, and open the door.
Okay. You open the door. Now, I'm not going to allow the door to actually be opened, and I have a reason for this because of the description.
Okay.
As you open the door, you come face to face with solid stone.
As in, it's a stone.
You
it's
open the
in,
door,
like,
and there's a wall of stone behind the door.
I'm going to stab at chest height with my halberd.
Okay.
It's not
Bang
stone.
into it. It is stone. Now, it is not a wall of stone, so it is not stone blocks. It is just solid, single-piece, smooth stone in a kind of circle.
It's
Nothing.
the lift. It's got to be the lift.
It's got to be.
Because that was a circular room, and it rose and it went up and down, didn't it?
Yep, it
Could
did.
be.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Right. So, is staring at this thing really going to do any good?
Or not.
I'm staring at it really hard, trying to believe that it's not there. I don't think the disbelief mechanic exists in this game, sadly.
It does, but...
I'm resisting the urge for Neffy to run off and go upstairs to the lift.
No.
Right next to me. Sandwiched between Kaylin and I.
Come on. There's some other doors to check.
You guys never let me have any fun.
No.
Because what happened the last time we let you run off and play in a lift shaft?
Nothing bad happened whatsoever in the lift.
No.
I mean,
but after
that's
the
an
alien
accurate
queen got on the
statement.
dropship.
There we are.
Right. That is actually where we're going to stop, because we've just hit over the hour point on this recording so far. You guys are at a relatively nice and simple spot where you can decide where you want to head next. We will come back after getting some drinks and discuss whether or not we're carrying on tonight. But one way or another, we will be back at some point with the episode 40. Episode 40 next. Yeah, we're going to take a break, guys. We're going to have a bit of a relax. We're going to make sure that the plague victim is not completely dying, and see how things go. Bye-bye for now, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Have a good evening, and ta-ta.
Bye.